The Northern Territory will conduct a general election for their Legislative Assembly on Saturday, 24th of August 2024. Early voting for this election, also known as pre-polling, commences on the 12th of August 2024. Voting is compulsory, but more than that, it is a privilege that we should take seriously. It is both a right and a responsibility. It is an important avenue every 4 years for you to have a say in shaping the territory. It is also your opportunity to choose who will represent you in Parliament. The Northern Territory has 25 electoral districts, with each district electing one member. The districts in the Northern Territory are relatively small by population, averaging around 5,600 votes per electorate. Interestingly, the Northern Territory is the only Australian jurisdiction where ballot papers feature photographs of each candidate. To form government in the Northern Territory, a party or coalition of parties must win over 50%, so 13 out of the 25 seats in the Legislative Assembly. The party who receives a majority wins government and their leader becomes the Chief Minister. Every vote counts, so please consider carefully who you will vote for. Think about the people on the ballot paper and not just the parties. Find out who your candidates are and what they stand for in order to choose who will represent you best. A 2-candidate preferred count system is used. When you fill out your ballot paper, mark the candidates in order of your preference. Write 1 next to your most preferred candidate, 2 next to your second most preferred candidate, and number down until you have completed every box. Your preferences are important because if your number 1 preferred candidate doesn't get enough votes to be elected, your vote is entirely allocated to your second choice. If that person doesn't get enough votes to be elected, your vote is then allocated to your third choice, and so on until your vote is counted against one of your preferences. Voting centres close at 6 p.m. on election day, and the counting process begins. Votes that are cast on election day are counted that night. Ballot papers are checked to ensure formality. Any that are not completed correctly are set aside as informal ballot papers and are not counted towards the result. The valid ballot papers are sorted into piles for each candidate according to the first preference marked on the ballot paper. The number of ballot papers are then totaled for each candidate and the results are phoned through to the electoral office and added to the website count. All ballot papers are rechecked after election night to make sure they have been counted correctly. Other counts are added, including early and postal votes. To be elected, a candidate must receive a majority of the total formal votes. If no candidate receives the majority in the first count, the candidate with the least number of formal votes is excluded, and that candidate's ballot papers are resorted to the other candidates according to the second preference shown on each ballot paper. The process of exclusion is repeated until one candidate gains more than 50% of the votes, making them the preferred choice and the successful candidate. The process of exclusion is repeated until one candidate gains more than 50% of the votes, making them the preferred choice and the successful candidate. We have created an election website to help you find out more about the candidates on your ballot. Go to ntvotes.org.au to read candidate profiles, find the answers candidates have given to ACL's questionnaire, and see voting records of current MPs. This will help you to be well equipped to vote on election day. Please also share this website widely with your family, friends, and church community. On our website, you'll also find a link to the Northern Territory Electoral Commission. We encourage you to vote for people, not parties. Consider who is the best to represent you and your values. Above all, when you go to vote, do so prayerfully and carefully, and make your vote count.